Welcome. Everyone here is ready to get into a highly questionable weekend. What do you like today, Bomani?
Scottie Pippen's trying to run Phil Jackson off his job. He doesn't even play for the Knicks and never did.
Dale, papi.
Which two teams would you like to see in the title game?
All right, now, if I worked for CBS and I was looking forward to this weekend's Final Four, I'd be like, boy, it sure would be great if North Carolina and Gonzaga won, as those are two teams that people generally talk about year to year and might watch, even if they don't know who the players are. If they get Oregon and South Carolina, oh, man, it's going to be a lot of sadness there, and guess what? You're not really going to watch that game either. North Carolina, Gonzaga, we'll talk about it all day. We'll love it, and it'll probably be the best game we could get.
But when you say this is what television wants, television usually wants it because it's what the people want. Outside of the area of South Carolina and outside of Oregon, everyone wants North Carolina and Gonzaga. The time for underdogs is done. South Carolina, we like them as a story. My father loves their coach, but we don't want to see him in the final, although my father probably does.
Well, I want to see the Gamecocks and the Fighting Dogs. Those are the two teams I want to see. Hell, I don't care about the ratings, buddy. That's a hell of a story. Two dark horses making it to the big dance.
Dark hoses? Is that what
horses? Horses.
Okay, horses. All right.
Dark horses.
It's kind of like the Peter Bowl when you think about it.
Okay, there it is. Did that sound come out of his mouth? Please tell me it came out of his mouth.
What kind of bird does that?
All right, the calf.
They're a mess, man. That's one way of putting it. I mean, 538 did a whole thing using analytics to show why they've got a 2% chance of winning, less of a chance than Toronto and Boston and Washington. But let's listen after their latest loss against Chicago to LeBron and Kyrie.
Just in a bad spot right now. Not disappointed with the effort. Just in a bad spot. Gotta try to figure it out.
You know, when you're in it, it absolutely sucks. It absolutely sucks when you're in a rush like this. But you know, we're taking steps forward, and you know, after the game, we took a step forward. So.
You said after the game you took a step forward.
Yeah.
In what way?
Just in a way that a team should take a step forward when they're up. I'll leave it at that.
I believe this is the most vulnerable LeBron James team in the Eastern Conference that we've seen in 7 years. In March, they were the worst defensive team in basketball. But what were you making faces about? Just how mysterious Kyrie was?
What are you talking about? What step forward did you take? You just lost. Would y'all go play half court or something like that? I mean, I don't. Look, man. The issue seems to be this team just isn't that good. Now, our belief is they can power through the East because they have LeBron James, and that's true. But when have we ever given LeBron credit for just powering through the East? Does this look like a team that can win a championship? Because that record they have, which is very good for the Eastern Conference, it isn't that great. It isn't dominant, and they're probably going to be playing a team that can be dominant if they get to the final.
A bad combination of things that makes it dangerous to even get out of the East, even though you don't believe in any of those teams in the East, is their point differential is +3. That's not very good, and on top of that, they're injured.
Well, I tell you one thing. The Cavs, they're playing the Sixers at home tonight, so if they lose tonight, it's really going to get hairy, very hairy.
Ryan, hairy? It's going to get hairy. Okay, why would it get hairy? I mean, I understand what he's saying by that, but hairiness?
It will get hairy everywhere but in LeBron's hairline.
Okay, there you go. That's okay, there it is.
Should the Knicks listen to Scottie Pippen and fire Phil Jackson?
Now, Knicks fans, I'd understand if you wouldn't want to hear anything from Scottie Pippen after what he did to Patrick Ewing that time in 1994. You remember that? Dunked on him, stood over him, and looked real sweaty. Anyway, here is Scottie Pippen giving his impressions of what the Knicks need to do.
This team really just hasn't had it, and they hasn't had it since Phil Jackson landed there. I mean, there's not been any upside to think that the New York Knicks was going to be a contender. And I just, you know, I feel bad for Carmelo having to go through this and having to deal with it, but he got a great contract.
Yeah, here's the thing for the Knicks, though. They also didn't have it before Phil Jackson got there. And the guy before that, they didn't have it. And the guy before that, they didn't have it then. The Knicks are actually in a position that's better than they've been in years for trying to build for the future. They actually have draft picks, for example. They just can't keep trying to run this damn triangle. So if Phil's going to keep trying to shoehorn that in there, then I think Scottie's right.
But how does this work, though, Bomani? Because I feel like most people think that Phil Jackson has done a very poor job. Is the only reason we're using this sound because not it's a top 50 player, but it's because a top 50 player who played for Phil Jackson, and we're surprised that he would betray him this way publicly? Because I don't think Scottie Pippen's actually out on a limb on this one.
Is Michael Jordan a better executive than Phil Jackson, really?
I mean, he is, isn't he? Yeah, not by much, but he is, right? We can say that, can we not?
I mean, he's gotten Charlotte to the playoffs before.
Yeah, what has Phil done?
Is Colin Kaepernick more likely to get a job now with the backing of Chip Kelly and Jim Harbaugh?
I feel like this story and their quotes were for us. I don't know that they're changing minds in the league at all, but Michael Rosenberg of Sports Illustrated wrote a very good article that Bomani put me onto, which quotes their allegiances, Harbaugh and Chip Kelly, in very strong terms to how committed Colin Kaepernick is. They don't really have any reason to be doing this other than they actually believe in the guy, and they dispel a lot of myths with some of the things that they said. I don't think, however, if you're not interested in Colin Kaepernick, that they're going to change your mind.
Now, the substance of their quotes is important, though. Chip Kelly talking about how it really wasn't a big deal within the team after the protest had happened. Jim Harbaugh talking about how fervently he was opposed to Kaepernick at first before he stopped and thought about it, before he actually said that Kaepernick was a hero, and that is a quote. So, no, this isn't going to change anybody's mind, but what it shows you is all the people making excuses don't really seem to have any footing. The next level of it is Jim Harbaugh calls Kaepernick a hero. Nobody really cares. Nobody really gets mad. Why is it that Kaepernick infuriates people so much, making some of the same points that when Jim Harbaugh makes them, people just ignore it?
Meanwhile, Jay Cutler is still in Mexico naked.
That's right.
There is that.
That is true. That is. Meanwhile, that's exactly right. Factual. I mean, he's naked. He might not be naked right now, but last we saw him, he was naked.
I'm guessing if he was naked in a picture, he's naked when it's not one.
Is Kevin Durant right that the rest controversy only applies to certain players?
Yeah, Kevin Durant made this point that really if it's only Russell Westbrook or LeBron or James Harden, a couple other guys, nobody really cares when guys rest. He mentioned the fact that the Suns have Tyson Chandler out for the year and nobody cares that Tyson Chandler's out for the year, to which the answer is, like, duh. Yeah, the bottom line is there are really only 4 or 5 guys in the league that people are buying a ticket only to see that dude. When those dudes sit out, that's when people are going to be mad.
It's not just that we don't care that Matthew Dellavedova is resting. It's that we don't care if LaMarcus Aldridge is resting. We don't care if Millsap is resting. We don't care except about 5 guys total. Can you name the 5? Let's name them, Bomani. LeBron, Durant, Westbrook, Harden.
Curry. And I'm not so sure about Harden.
Is that it? That's it? Is that the entire list?
Well, maybe everybody should rest like Kevin Durant, faking an injury.
Oh,
wow.
That's right. What? What?
Wow.
Faking an injury.
I said it. Yeah. So what's the big deal?
Okay, there it is.
He faked that injury. He wanted some time off, and that's it,
You say, what's the big deal? The law, man. You can't just be doing that.
Coming up next on my son's TV show, Roberto Alomar.
What was the batting average that you actually had to win the batting title? Because you seem to remember some of these details in a way that makes you feel good.
I believe it was like 346.
Like 346.
Yeah, around 346.
My son's TV show is brought to you by Burger King. Try the new $3.29 cheeseburger meal deal today at Exxon and Mobil Synergy gasoline. Joining us at the beach today is Roberto Alomar.
Hall of Famer, one of the best second basemen you will ever see. 2-time World Series champion, joins us ahead of opening day on behalf of New Era's Caps On celebration. Let's talk to him. What one person, if you had to pick only one, would you say is most responsible for your success?
Well, I have to say two, my mom and my dad. They're the one who the foundation of the family. They're the one who gave me that advice when I needed it. They're the one that I used to call when I needed a phone call for somebody to talk to. And I believe, to me, my parents were the one that really helped me to have so much success through my whole career.
Can you give us one example of your parents making sacrifices when you were young that you remember now in adulthood that was uncommon in its support?
Well, they used to. I remember my mom used to take her car. We used to have a station wagon and put 12 kids inside the car and gave us a ride because the town didn't want to give us a bus. So my mom used to be the one who put 12 kids in the car and take us to the ballpark. And that's, for me, I always remember that.
What did the struggle look like?
Well, the struggle looked like, for example, I remember when I went to the United States for the first time to play professionally. I didn't know how to communicate with other players. I didn't know how to communicate with my manager, with coaches, because the barrier of the language. But after that, I got to learn the language. I got to know how to communicate. And I remember in those days, sometimes you didn't even have money to buy some food. But those are the struggles that you go through the minor league to be able to become stronger as a person and survive.
How long did it take you to catch up with the language barrier?
It took me almost 2.5 years to be able to have a conversation with the coaches and the team and my teammates.
It made you shy, right? A lot of Latin players don't want to feel dumb, and it's not that you're dumb, it's that the language can be problematic. What kind of embarrassment did you suffer? Did you have any moments where you had some shame because you couldn't communicate?
Well, a lot of the time I feel ashamed because people sometimes they make fun of you, the way you speak, the way you talk. But on the other hand, I have people who gave me the right advice. So like my dad, he always say, "Hey, you're gonna go through this. You have to be strong mentally." And I think as a person and as a player, that made me more stronger, because I knew that I had a challenge. And sometime in life, if you think everything's gonna be easy for you, then you're wrong. And I think that made me a much stronger person and a much better person at the same time.
Is there any one thing that you specifically remember, though, in the minor leagues that even now, all these years later, stands out for you?
Well, I remember asking for a ride to a teammate to take me to if he can give me a ride to the ballpark, and he flat out say no. So I remember that day, and that to me was kind of like a slap in the face. But on the other hand, you know what? This is where we are. Then I walked to the ballpark, and I remember that year I won the batting title.
So wait a minute. Why did he say no? Was he saying no because it was a teammate who couldn't communicate with you, or you don't know why he was saying no?
No, but I don't really know. Maybe we didn't speak the same language. I don't want to get caught up in the moment. So, he's the owner of the car. He say no. I just walked to the ballpark
and won the batting title. I just walked to the ballpark and won the batting title.
And that's all I did. He come from my dad. All you had to do out there, walk every day to the ballpark. The same way you walk when you were at home. You used to walk to the ballpark. You didn't get a ride when you used to go and practice when you were not professional. So what's different now? And that's what my father always taught me. If you can do it on your own, go ahead and do it. And in the end, you're gonna be the one laughing in the end.
But how mad were you walking to that ballpark?
Yeah,
like how mad were you walking?
You know why? You know the only reason I was really mad, not because he didn't give me a ride, because that's his car, but it was freezing. It was really cold.
Oh wow!
And I was in Reno, Nevada, so it was almost like 30 degrees. And for me, coming from Puerto Rico, that was really cold. So I think it was like a little slap in the face.
How far a walk was it?
It was almost like 25 minutes.
Yeah.
Or 25 minutes in the cold weather is like an hour.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. What was the batting average that you actually had to win the batting title? Because you seem to remember some of these details in a way that makes you feel good.
I believe it was like 346.
Like 346.
Yeah, around 346. Papi, what do you have for Roberto?
Roberto, what is the favorite food that your mother Maria cooks for you?
Rice, beans, and chicken. Pollo guisado.
Rice, beans, and chicken. Yeah.
Pollo guisado, eh?
Yeah.
You're singing my song.
I love it. Yes.
Gracias, Roberto.
Gracias, señor.
Gracias a ustedes. Thank you very much.
Porch, sitting on 4Gs. You cannot afford these.
The Panamera on your 911. I call my homies 911. I'm the one with the juice, but I never do the homie like Pac did Q.
Bo, who do you love? Dan, who do you love? Who do you love? My Son's TV show is brought to you by Domino's. Order online at dominos.com. And New Henry's Hard Sparkling Water. Make the ultra light choice. Time to play the game that's favorite son is Dan.
Really? Really? Yeah, you're not going to do that. I knew that wasn't
April's fool, do you question?
You give us topics and events, and we question them. We got you a day early just to make sure. I knew it couldn't be real.
Isn't plural. The April is.
Do you question if Tyler Flack is a name you will never forget?
My father loves to say that. So-and-so, a name you will never forget. He says it in Sing Song. This is college seniors dunk contest, South Dakota. That's where Tyler plays. Let's check in with him.
I wonder where this is going. 540. It's a 540.
540?
Yes.
And made it look very easy, too.
Yes, he did. You didn't see that coming, did you, Dan?
I did not see that coming.
Why didn't you see that coming, Dan?
Because South Dakota is not a hotbed for dunkers, Bomani.
Yes, yes, yes. South Dakota.
That's right. South Dakota is the reason I didn't see a 540.
I didn't even have to see the damn video, and I was like, it's about to be a white dude doing something incredible, and it was.
Yes. We got a quick quiz for you. What's his name? What's the name we will never forget? Okay.
Forgot his name.
We seem to have forgotten.
You say his name.
Is it Flack? Flack? Tyler Flack? Tyler Flack.
Do you question security?
Hold on, it's a question about security, and there's no setup. Either it's great bouncer video or it's really bad security. Oh, here we go.
Ah, the streaker. We love the streaker around here.
Is that a streaker? Nothing's like bleeped out or anything.
I think he's in his tighty whities, is he not?
Oh, that's unfortunate.
And security is nowhere to be found.
Oh, I wouldn't be so sure.
Where is security?
Okay, security. It looked like Uncle Fester about to come make it happen.
Is that up there in the upper right-hand portion of the screen? Is that security?
This is a major league ballpark, by the way.
Here we go. Chase it down. Oh,
oh, closing speed.
Oh, yeah.
Closing speed.
Yeah, there it is.
There we go.
Yes.
There's another one.
I tell you this, that guy got lucky that it wasn't enough security to surround him, because when that happens, nobody knows what's going on the inside.
Some of that.
Security was weak, but I have seen worse.
Let's see, worse security.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
I have seen worse, yeah.
And the guy just stood there. Like, that's the most disrespectful part. Because then at that point, security can't even just waylay you like he wants to. They just had to take him off peaceful.
What was sadder there? How quickly the old guy went down or how slowly he got up?
Time to play the game that thinks Phil is never going to pay me back. See? Oh, no.
Tell us what's on television tonight. He'll always be intrigued.
On ESPN, Rockets and Warriors.
Sure, that always sounds like fun. Last night, the Trailblazers beat the Rockets, but let's check in with the Warriors recently. What happened with them?
Steph dropped beautifully, and JaVale.
Oh, JaVale. JaVale being JaVale. Oh, you can't have plays like that, says the announcer, except you can, because they were down 20 in the first quarter and they won by double digits, so it doesn't much matter. JaVale's still doing that thing with his hair in the back. But Monty, are you intrigued?
Yeah, I had missed that, and now it's so confusing how we're supposed to respond when JaVale McGee does stuff like that, because I don't want his mama coming at me, right? Like, that's on the list of possible things.
Papi, dale, what about you? Are you intrigued?
Oh, see, I'm very intrigued. But listen, it must be very difficult for Shaq. I'm sure he wants to say something about that play, but now he can't say anything. He got to keep his mouth shut now.
And it has to be difficult. JaVale keeps providing, and now Shaq has to listen to his mom because he said he was gonna.
On WE TV, Dr. Miami.
Weed TV?
WE
TV.
You know who this guy is?
Well, if it's Dr. Miami, I've heard about this guy. Yeah, I've heard about this guy. Let's check in with him.
I'm stabbing and dabbing. I'm Dr. Miami, and I'm the king of plastic surgery. All aboard the booty train! I'm a board-certified plastic surgeon with a knack for social media. Millions of people watch me operate every day. I was the first plastic surgeon to post my surgeries on social media for all the world to see.
Oh, God.
And they see everything.
All right, so now we're stapling up the incision here.
No! Surgery is serious, but I want my patients to feel comfortable.
What we do here is fun. If wearing a crown and a cape makes my patients feel more comfortable, that's what I do.
My patients come in looking to change their bodies. but they leave with their lives changed.
You've just made my life so much better.
Not everyone's sure it's worth the pain.
You go through with the surgery and you can kiss me goodbye.
But in the end, plastic makes perfect.
You look wonderful.
There's a fine line between creativity and craziness.
You have Tourette's syndrome or something?
But I don't think I've crossed it.
That is so Miami. You know the only way it could be more Miami? If that guy weren't actually any kind of doctor and we're still performing those surgeries. Bomani, are you intrigued?
I mean, he's famous,
yeah.
right? I mean, he is too, but still, like the idea that he's famous.
Well, I've earned it more than he
I'm talking about him. You're not famous.
Bobby, are you intrigued?
No, I'm not intrigued at all. No, I'm not intrigued. You know, if you're going to open me up with a knife, you know, I want you to look serious. You cannot walk into the operating room dressed as a clown, you know?
Right? That's fair. Like, if someone's going to cut you open with a scalpel, that person needs to be dressed like a doctor.
Now's
DJ
not
or
the
clown.
time for jokes.
That's all the time we have for today. Thank you for watching.
Have a good weekend. We'll talk to you on Monday.
Gracias. See you mañana.
El lunes.
Ah, yeah, that too.
Turn up time.
Oh, time to
That's
turn
right.
up. Time
That's
to
right.
get Turn
up time.
There it
turn
is.
up time.
It's about
Turn
to
up time.
Is it turn up time or turnip time?
It sounds like turnips. He sounds like, and look at him. He's falling down.